Alright, so the lighting's not great, but we're now to the point we gotta start tearing into this motor to get rid of that JB weld right there. See, it's not as bad, but still not. I don't like it. I have a case coming Wednesday for it. Today is the 7th, I want to say, 7th or 8th. And we're just going to get this top end off and the clutch out. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and take a look at the cams and the valves, see if those are out of spec or in spec, and go from there. Alright, so I just went ahead and grabbed a shop light. So for this KTM motor, I'm pretty sure it's only the 3 bolts on top. They look like 10 or 12s. I'll go ahead and pop this off. And this valve cover is going to be powder coated. I'm not going to tell you guys the color yet. You guys can leave down some suggestions if you'd like. And yeah, we're just going to go from there. So I wish I could set my phone up so you guys could see what's going on, but I unfortunately cannot. So I've got this handy dandy little magnetic bowl right there. So we're going to go ahead and unscrew these. Just stick them right there. Let me see, I'm looking through the camera. And that should be, oops, all of them. Give it a couple knocks with the mallet just to knock it loose. Oops. Alright, should be loose enough. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so this guy right there. So, it doesn't look too bad in here. Turn this light a little better. Cams don't look that worn yet. Okay. So I have to go ahead, timing. If I remember on these KTMs, timing or top dead center, or the timing for these should be right with this and aligned. So yeah, look at that. These are not aligned at all. This is probably why this bike wasn't starting. So we're taking a look at the motor right now. Got the valve cover off. I know this is supposed to stop the chain from slapping up, but I don't remember if the KTM chains are supposed to be this tight. I don't think they are. So I think before we go any further, we're going to check the valve clearances. I'm going to get these cams popped out. Alright, so I didn't record much. I got this stator cover off. The valve cover, I've checked my valve clearance. Now we're over here. We have not taken off clutch or anything yet. But right now we're almost to the point where we're taking off the head. We have taken the tension out of the cam chain. I don't know if you can see it. And now it is time to pop the head off, see what the piston looks like. I'm not going to be able to record that for you guys, but I'll show you guys after. I use this on the KTM, but to get the head off, you actually have to take off the cams, and there's some bolts down there. You can kind of see it through that cam. Let's see if I can. Right there. And there should be one on this side as well. So right now we're going to take off the cams and we're going to go from there. The lighting's bad, but we skipped a few steps. I got the head off, the cylinder, and now we're down to the bottom end really. So here's the cylinder. I don't know if I can get you a good look here with this lighting. It looks real good. There's one spot that shows a little bit of a concern, and it's right, I don't know if the camera will focus. It's right around there, to the left a little bit, right in front of my ring finger. But it's not bad. A light Honda fixed it. This guy said at under 30 hours, and maybe times 10, so probably 200, 300. And here's the piston. Doesn't look great at all, but the crank has a little bit of play in it. Let's see. Mainly just in the wrist pin bearing, but the crank does have a tiny bit of play. No up and down, so I think the crank's good. But it is really hard to turn over, so I'm thinking it's a bearing. We'll have to tear open the bottom end still, because there's that. Take a Dremel to that, get it all separated, and then split the cases probably tomorrow. I'll check the clutch out too, soak plates, and we'll just go from there really. Alright, so right now we're going to go ahead and pop this clutch cover off, probably the water pump cover too, then get this right side case off. Yeah, this is the right side. Take a look at this, take a look at the clutch, and pretty much just go from there, because we got to get the clutch off so we can take off the cam chain tensioner, and then we'll just pretty much go from there. So I'm actually going to be using the Torx bit. This is either an 8mm socket or a Torx bit, which is a T30 if I remember. But I like to use a Torx just simply because it's I think it's a little bit easier to take them off. Even the man in the moon disappeared. Somewhere in the stratosphere. Tell my mother, tell my father, I've done the best Alright, so we got the clutch cover off, and this is an OEM clutch from KTM. You can kind of see it right here, it says KTM. It's going this way though, so you can't see it too much, but this is a stock clutch. We're gonna check the fibers and everything. Not yet though, we'll just leave the clutch assembled. So now we're gonna get this water pump off right here. Then we'll go ahead and take out the side case and pretty much just see what's inside. Look at the gears, look at some bearings, anything like that. Doesn't seem too bad. There's not much oil in it. I mean, I did drain it, so there's that.
I keep staring at the sun, it's in my blood, I'm headed for disaster. Burning bridges just for fun, if I gun them, it's a goddamn shame. So I push away the people that I love the most, addicted to the feeling and the chemicals. I'm holding on to hope, but it only destroys me, 'cause I'm in love with bad things. I'm in love with, but the truth is I can't say goodbye. So I made friends with all my demons, let them sink their teeth in. Got used to the feeling of letting it go. So give me something to believe in, or throw me in the deep end. It all feels the same with your eyes closed, so you can throw me in the deep end. Deep end.
Alright, so I went ahead and got off this right side clutch cover. This is what I like to call it. And this is probably where we're going to diagnose what's actually wrong with the bike. Actually, no, it's not. We're going to be just behind this case. And we have to split the cases. That's where we're going to find our problem. But, I mean, everything rolls. Here's a cam chain. And to hold this up, it's got a kink right here. But we hold this up and we can rotate this. Yeah, nothing's binded up or anything like that. We just have to figure out what the issue is. We'll probably get rid of these tensioners just to freshen them up and get a new cam chain. But after this, we're going to split cases and see what happens then.